Hey, it's Del K. Birch, and it's Monday, and I'm against the ADL. Thank you to everybody who are subscribers and listeners of this channel. We have to keep pushing out that social media platform and aggressively go after the ADL on all social media fronts. The only thing that community does fear is public opinion. This is why they're so anxiously going from media source to media source, trying to get Jonathan Greenblatt just about on every black media show, trying to become an apologist for his Zionist agenda, to basically be racist against black people in his subversive subversive campaign against us. Okay, he is definitely a domestic spy. So is the ADL. They're a domestic spy organization, and they should declare themselves as an agent of Israel, because they have nothing to do with the United States of America. Their interests are Israel, 100%. And we shouldn't allow them to get away with what they're continuing on. They're going on every single platform, every black platform that will give them audience, because these guys are doing it for views. So they're letting Jonathan Greenblatt come on there and say anything he wants unchecked. Okay, so we have to be aggressive against them. And our social media campaign, I'm Del K. Birch, and I'm against the ADL. I'd like you guys to go on your social media, 30-second long, explain why if you want to, or don't explain why, but make sure that it lasts for 30 seconds, upload it to your shorts, use an ADL thumbnail picture, and send it off. Send it off to Instagram, send it off to WhatsApp, send it off to all your social medias, your Facebooks, your Twitters, send it around the world, and let them know that we stand against the ADL. The Jewish community has to do something about their own organization. I'm not wasting time writing letters. I still I'm trying to organize individuals to literally show up at every ADL office in America. That's still on the table. Somebody asked me that, what about 1,000 boots on the ground? That hasn't gone anywhere. That hasn't gone anywhere. You think that's fading away? It's not. Hasn't gone anywhere. 1,000 boots on the ground. And again, I gotta get in touch with the people who have the capacity to do that. And anyone who's interested in joining that mindset, please message me, please contact me. But every ADL office in America needs to know that we do not support the ADL. Okay, so that's one thing. Moving on into other news, I think it's important that the black community, again, I have to say this again, because it seems like every generation of the black community has to have a conversation about colorism, right? Every I would say it happens maybe every 10 years. We need to reacquaint the black community with colorism. Okay, so number one, why do I bring this up? And it really doesn't bother me, because it's something that I've seen so many times. But you know, I've had so many references to folks who have seen, you know, snapshots of my children or snapshots of Batgirl on the back end, and people are thinking or saying, well, you know, why is it that this channel is so pro-black, but he's married to, or he's with a white lady, or he's with a mulatto, or I heard a snow bunny. I've heard so many conversations about that, right? And it is so interesting to me how black people can't recognize each other. Y'all can't. I'm not saying everybody now. I'm not saying everybody, but it is very interesting that black people can't recognize each other, and we also do not identify at the pantheon of what black looks like, or what Africanism looks like, or what Shemitic individuals or Hamitic individuals look like. We don't all look the same. Isn't it crazy? A Caribbean girl from the island of St. Vincent, people think I mean, I can understand if somebody says, well, is she mulatto, right? Which she's not. But it puzzles me when people can't recognize when somebody is actually black. that's the part. It's like, fine, if you might think she's mixed, because you've seen that quality, those qualities, hair texture, hair curl, complexion, whatever. But when you can't recognize somebody as black altogether, you know, not that she's front and center because she's Batgirl on the back end, but it's interesting to me that people cannot identify black people. What is wrong with us? And this is her consistent battle, and I'm gonna go to war for her a little bit on this, just a little bit, because she doesn't care really, right? But she's an educator, and at her school sometimes kids say, there's a kid who said the other day, they were talking about, can they use the N-word, right? And again, she's an educator, she's a high school teacher, and so she's saying to them, listen, that's not an appropriate term. Can't use that. I'm not going to let you use that in my class. Right? Young black boys, right? And they're saying, well, miss, you can't say it because you're not black. Now, this is one kid amidst the other black kids. All the other black boys look at him like, are you dumb? What? Because it is clear that sometimes we just don't recognize each other. This young boy in her class all year did not know that his teacher was black. Had no idea. And this is the craziest part. The kid is mixed. He's mixed. His mother's white, his father's black. He's trying to use the N-word in every sentence. She's trying to stop him. And she says, well, you can't say it because you're not black. So I think we have a real issue with, I don't know what you want to call it, but I think we have an issue with, I'll call it, and I know some of you don't like to be called black and all these kind of things, but you know, unfortunately, we have colloquialisms and they're just what they are. But I call it black low self-esteem. I think collectively, some of us, because I know I've been delivered from it. I know it doesn't exist in me anymore. Maybe when I was a little kid, but I quickly grew out of that. I quickly became and thank God for a very strong mom and for having a community around me that did not allow me to drift into this cesspool of emotional misidentity. But black low self-esteem is something that I think is pervasive in our community. When you can't see yourself, when you are looking at somebody who looks like you but don't see you, that's a problem. That's a problem. That's a self-esteem problem, because for some reason you have found a way to forget what you look like and who you are. And we have that issue happening many times in the conservative or the Republican black community as of late, right? And you know, we know that conversation shifts and changes, and I have a feeling, to be honest with you, that many Democrats are going to change over to becoming Republicans, but some of y'all ain't making it easy. Some of y'all ain't making it easy at all. But we know that the Republican conversation began with an abolitionist conversation, and then shifted somewhere along the lines. Now, I don't know that history. That's not American history that I'm actually up to date on. But the facts remain that, you know, we do have some house Negroes still running around and on the conservative side of the fence. But guess what? Some of the liberals are running around looking crazy too. As of late, I didn't appreciate some of the things that came out of Van Jones's mouth. And I remember one time that Van Jones was considered the smartest man in America, right? But Van Jones, you know, like all of us, can step in it and say some stupid stuff, right? And Van Jones is one of the guys who can say stupid stuff very intelligently, right? And it's not a matter of him being he's not Herschel Walker. I just didn't like his take on certain things as of late. But I ain't gonna throw the brother under the bus, because he's had a body of work that deserves a little bit of respect, to the point where it's like, fine, I beg to differ with you, Van. I'll just leave it at that. But I think, like I said, in respect to how we see ourselves, how we see each other, man, like, we need classes. Like, it seems like we need sensitivity training in our own community. We need to sit down in our own community. I know you're going to say, oh, we need the Bible. Many of you guys are going to scream out, we need the Bible. Well, absolutely. I ain't going to say we don't. We absolutely need the counsel, the full counsel of God, the 66 books of truth. We require that too. But as a people, my gosh, bro. And you know what is interesting too? And it's crazy, because there are so many non-black people that know blackness better than us. They are. There's so many. An individual who takes this time to understand history, to understand ancient history and ancient anthropology, they can speak to you. I don't care what color they are. They can speak to you. There's so many members of other communities that are part of our culture, because there's a difference between ethnicity and culture. You could be of a different ethnicity, but very much a part of the black community and of the black conversation, right? A lot of brothers and sisters who are married to black people, or black people who are married to other ethnicities, and still deal with the scenarios, especially when they have children, right? I've met many white ladies who've had black children and have come to me and said, yeah, I got to have the conversation with him, and I don't know how to have it. How do I have the conversation with him that the world sees him as black, and he has to realize that there's some things that are going on that I simply can't teach him, right? I've had that conversation. I can't even explain to you how many times I've had that conversation. That is a very serious conversation in many communities. So do not think that I'll say black issues are only black people's problem. They are not. They are not. They are not. Okay? So we have a lot to dive into in ourselves, and I mean, we're people with so many complexities to things that we're dealing with as a community. Come on, man. That door ain't open, bro. You can go. These streetcars we have here. Once the streetcar door is open in Toronto, you can't drive by the streetcar. But he didn't realize that. But we have so many things that we have as major sociological and psychological dilemmas in our community. Things that it's going to take generations to clean out of us. Like, honestly, like it's going to take generations to clean out the negative effect of hip-hop culture and rap music. The negative effect. Not saying it's all negative, but the stuff that's negative, it's going to take generations to clean that out, bro. It's going to take generations. It's going to take a generation to stop becoming the ambassadors of brands that hate us. I just saw Giannis in a commercial on Instagram roll up with a whole skid of sneakers and giving them away to his people, like his Nike sneakers, a whole skid of them. I mean, it's going to take a generation for us to say, you know what, we're no longer going to do business with these brands, because at the end of the day, you know, if I step out of pocket, they're going to come for me, because I'm basically their slave. I'm their little boy. So it's going to take time for us to have integrity of self and say, you know what, I'm no longer going to become I'm not going to become your merchandise. I'm no longer going to become your voice. I'm no longer going to become your open door into the minds of black children. It's going to take time, because no community on the planet has been pimped and mule-ridden in. When I say mule-ridden, people have sat on our backs and we have ridden them into our societies and our social cultures and said, he's okay, he's with me. She's okay, she's with me. This brand's okay, they're with me. And we have made them part of our collective, and they're not with us. They're not with us. And so it's going to take some unwinding. But it starts with the identification of self. It really starts right there. It starts right there. I had somebody tell me, "Oh man, you know, you're watering down the race." I said, "What is he talking about?" You know, I have weird conversations. I have people who tell me that, you know, when they see my hands, that I'm wearing nail polish. I say, "Oh, well, why is he wearing pink nail polish?" Negro, this is what a black man's hands look like. He's wearing pink nail polish. I heard somebody tell me I'm wearing pink nail polish. Y'all different. Ooh, Lord, yo, I don't. Maybe y'all need a new phone or something. But let's get some psychological help first to our people, right? And that psychological help starts first and foremost in the mirror and says, I'm proud of what I am. I'm proud of who I am. I'm proud of what God made me. And I am not just the entity that you see in front of you. I'm a tapestry of wonder. I make up all the rainbow. The rainbow doesn't belong to the LGBTQ community. The rainbow belongs to me. Come on. Anyway, that's my time. This is Del K. Brereton, and this is the real spiel. All right? This is the real spiel. Hoping to do a live a little bit later in respect to some teaching stuff. Trying to figure out who my guests are this week. If there's no guests, it's going to be me and you sitting down having a conversation. Spirit people, expect a new book to be coming around your way. Doing some Christmas stuff for some individuals who are interested in any kind of Christmas promotions. I am a Christian and I celebrate Christmas. And I don't care what you ninjas say. That's another thing. Listen, I don't care. It's really hard for me to receive commentary from the position of ignorance. Take your time, because when you come to have a war of words with me and ideology, many of you are outmatched. Okay, take your time. All right, I know what I'm talking about. I know what I defend, and I've not been indoctrinated into anything. I'm the indoctrinator. I've been saved. I've been awakened, and I've had Christ revealed. And so, if you don't like something that in respect to what you say you don't like, they didn't like my Christmas toque yesterday. That's too bad. I ain't scared of none of you ninjas. So that's the merch is coming out too. You're gonna like that. I ain't afraid of you ninjas. That's gonna be one of my. I'm gonna have that. I'm gonna have that for Christmas. We're gonna see that. I ain't afraid of you ninjas. That's gonna be for Christmas time. All right, blessings. I got to go to work. Love, peace, and hair grease. This is Big Del K. Brereton. This is the real spiel.